Let me make sure all the streams are in here. It is your girl V with Reality Recap back from our last live of the night. Then I will be caught up recapping all the shows over this weekend. Right now, we are going to recap the season 9, episode 2 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Let me see, am I live on Instagram? Because I think I just clicked something by mistake. Let me see. Let me see. No, we're live, not live on Instagram. Let's see. See if we can get them in here. I'm so tired. I'm delusional. Let's see if that will work. See if we can get Instagram in here. If not, then I'm just gonna keep on going, y'all. All right, it's trying, it's trying. But while we're getting them in here, we are streaming live right now on Facebook and YouTube. I'm trying to get Instagram in the building. And again, up, it's coming up. It worked. Okay. Now let me try this again. My long nails tapping the wrong buttons. All right, Instagram is in the building. Thank y'all for sticking it out with me. This is my 4th live of the day. I have been traveling this weekend, getting the kids ready for picture day this week, and I just wanted to catch up because I'm dedicated. And I hope y'all see that I'm dedicated to recapping these shows even when I can't do it the night after or the day after the show airs. I did watch everything over this weekend and had my notes. So this is my last catch up session, Tea Talk, again for season 9, episode 2 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Sorry for the lint all over my shirt. Y'all know I had a hoodie on earlier, and now it's all over my black shirt, and I couldn't find my lint brush. But anyway, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a whole lot of notes for Real Housewives of Potomac. Sunday night's episode, I was not impressed. This season is starting off a bit slow for me. And I'm really not feeling it. I try to support and stick out for my girls, Potomac, Atlanta, my girls, you know what I'm saying. But I don't know, guys. This has me scared for the rest of the season. And not to say that it's because Candace isn't there or Robin isn't there or anything like that. It's just, it's not giving so far to me. The new girls are not giving for me. I was not impressed with Potomac's episode on Sunday. It was literally a snooze fest. Like, what are we arguing over? Whose party we're going to? That's where we're at. All right, girls. I hope that there's more to come this season, but I wasn't really impressed. So I don't have a whole lot of notes, but I'm going to give you my thoughts. We started off still at the Hatitude party with Mia crying in the bathroom because of the comments that Giselle and Karen made, saying that she didn't protect her children by the things that were being said by G, that he was upset. She was crying. Jackie was consoling her and got her to pull herself together and come back to the table where they apologized for what they said. They didn't mean for it to come off for me as to think she's a bad mom or not doing a good job with her kids. Um, and there are mixed thoughts out there, honestly, between a lot of viewers, right? Some of us feel, me included, feel like, Mia is kind of exploiting her son, putting this storyline on the show that he may not be G's son without him really having the right to say, no, I don't want this talked about me. And I do agree with that. I also think there's some accountability on G's part, right? Last season, he brought this up. G was the one that brought this stuff up that, you know, the kid said that Mia was sleeping with Mr. Ink or Uncle Ink, and that Ink thinks that, this her son is his. So G kind of brought this to the forefront, and now I feel like Mia and Ink are tirelessly working to like clear her name, clear her reputation, and they are willing to do this paternity test and make this a storyline. I personally, only speaking for myself, would not use my child as a storyline on a show to do a paternity test. I would not do that no matter what G had to say. And then also for me with G, it's like, why would you bring that up, right? Why would you talk about that on the show? I'm not too keen on her storyline. If you want to be with Ink and you're moving on with him, cool. But to set up this whole maternity conversation about your son who's a minor on a TV show, not the best look in my opinion. That's just me personally. I wouldn't do that. Nor would, if I was still married yet sleeping with Ink on the side or whatever their relationship was, there would be no opportunity for my child to come back to G and say, I saw mommy sleeping with Uncle Ink. Like, if you want to do that, you're kind of confusing them, honestly. If you want to be, sleeping with Ink on the side, cool. But why have your children there? That's just crazy to me. Again, something that I wouldn't personally do. Whether G agreed to this or not, I don't think he agreed to or would want you to be doing this around your children. Latoria is back on Facebook. She said, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't use my child for a storyline, nor would I be in the bed with Ink with my children around, and I'm still given the perception or I'm still in the house with G. I wouldn't do that. That's just me. To each his own. I don't judge per se. I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation and what I would do. And that ain't it. That ain't what I'd be doing. So, they apologized to her. She pulled herself together. I don't even know if I would have forgave that easily, but she seemed to. And pulled herself together. But Mia's storyline, and I like Mia, I think her storyline would carry alone with just the whole transition of where she is with G versus this new guy and what's going on in their relationship and what's happening. I think that would carry on its own. This extra paternity test stuff, not a good look. I don't like it. Just my thoughts. But then we see Giselle invites Wendy to lunch. Um, and Wendy agrees, and we actually see them sit down for lunch. Now, I personally felt like Wendy let Giselle off very easy in that conversation, or so I thought. I'll read to you something that Wendy had to say because I literally have wrote in my notes, am I in the twilight zone at this lunch? How did we get here so fast? How did we get to this apology and everything's cool, as if the things that Giselle or Robin and the things that they were doing had not happened? And apparently some other people on Twitter felt the same way. Someone had commented on Twitter, I'm all for moving on, forgiving, but we have to have some tough conversations and get to the root. Wendy let her off way too easy and didn't bring up anything. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it just happened so fast to me that they weren't getting to the root of the issue or how they got there and owning whatever part they had in it, taking accountability. I didn't feel that. But Dr. Wendy did comment and said, saying I could not use her bathroom at the reasonably shady event, saying it was okay for me to be assaulted because she does not like me, bringing up a fake rumor about my husband, talking badly about my mother. She said, I brought up everything. It was over a 2-hour lunch. So basically, it sounds like these things were hashed out or discussed, but they cut it down into this scene of less than 5 minutes, as if I wanted to see more of that. Them, holding Giselle accountable, really get into the nitty gritty of it. Like, yeah, your girl ain't here to back you up. I'm holding you accountable, and this is what you've done to me. Because it was more than just, I'm not talking to her, I don't like her. It was some real things that were done to Wendy, and I just was like, this was too easy of a conversation. But apparently, these things happen in the conversation, but for whatever reason, I don't like this production team of Real Housewives of Potomac. Whoever's producing Salt Lake City at this point need to produce all of them, because why would you cut out those conversations, those tense moments, and make it look like it was just all, in the words of Kathy Hilton, honey, hunky dory? Who's hunky dory? I don't know. Latoya said exactly. Bougie Betty said, I can't believe they are sorors and don't care for each other. Where's the sisterhood? Yeah, like, I ain't in a sorority myself, but right, I know that, I literally joke with my friends and stuff, and I might be offensive, but I joke with them and call it a cult because they are so close. Like, a lot of my friends are in sororities and they're so close, and like, honestly, the way they showed up, like my one friend, her grandmother passed away, and the way they showed up, like they had a schedule of who was going to be at the house to support her. They showed up at the repast. They cleaned up, they served the food, they brought the food. Like, it was like, I really was like, wow, I wish I had that sisterhood. I didn't go to a big university or have the opportunity to join a sorority, but I be like literally low key talking to my husband and crying like, I don't have no friends. How do I make friends? I'm too old. Nobody likes me. I'm a Sagittarius with a with a rude mouth, and nobody wants to be my friend. So, but seeing that, I was like, wow, like they are a true sisterhood. So, right, Bougie Betty, they are sorors, and it seems like they are coming together now. But don't laugh at me, Latoria. Yo, I get it. Like, my little Sagittarius mouth is a whole lot to handle, but it's only because I care, Latoria. Like, when I care about people, I am honest with them. And it's because I care. Because if I didn't care, I would just not say anything. But just call me misunderstood. But I don't have many friends, honey. So I wish I would have joined a sorority, but and it's cool that they got past it. Not saying that they shouldn't. I just don't understand why all of that was cut out. Latoya said I'm an Aries, so I understand. Yes, you do. My daughter's an Aries, child. She be telling me off, okay? I got an Aries and a Scorpio, honey. So my poor little Leo husband is a mess. But yeah, so I get it, Bougie Betty. They are sorority sisters. It seemed like they came together. I just don't get why production cut out the meat and potatoes of that conversation. Like, that would have made the show a bit more interesting. I rather had spent more time at that than in Giselle's kitchen baking cookies, or at these now I ain't gonna call the event stupid, but I would have enjoyed more of that conversation than the time spent at this event and turning people away. Um I feel like we also saw Stacey having a conversation with Ashley. I don't know how I feel about Stacey. I wrote in my notes, Stacey wants to have a perfect image. What is a classy divorce? So she was saying that her and her husband are going through a divorce. They've been separated for a year. And she's saying, but they're still living in the home together because they want to have a classy divorce. I don't know what is a classy divorce, but in her opinion, a classy divorce is them still living together in denial, and not in denial, but living together, lying to their daughter, not letting them know, and she's young, so I get it, but kind of shielding her. I'll say that instead of lying, shielding her from knowing that they're going through a divorce. She has an apartment in the city where she tells her child that she's going to work, but she goes there and stays while the father is there, and then when he leaves for business, she comes back. Um she is doing a lot to protect her image and what is portrayed of her on this show. And that for me doesn't make a good housewife. when you are not authentically being yourself and you are trying to control the narrative, first of all, it gets very hard to keep up with that. And eventually you spiral out and lose control. But I don't like when a housewife isn't showing up being transparent as herself. Latoria says Giselle is just shady. Why not invite Kyria or Kay as we know her? She should have been the first one to be invited after the main cast. I would agree. Um, she should have had her there over Jackie. Like Jackie was more there because she's Mia's friend. I don't understand why Kay wouldn't be invited, especially after the reunion and how, Kay expressed her love for Karen for being there for her at the last GNA event. I agree with you there. And you said you have mixed feelings about Stacy, I'm assuming. Yeah. It looks like she has a little bit to say coming up in some later episodes, but from an image perception and her trying to go through this divorce classy, there's a reason why the man's face blurred out. Okay, like this isn't. It's not as classy, and you know everything's not kumbaya like she's trying to feed us, and we need to like get real because again, trying to keep up this image, we've seen it time and time again. When you're trying to it's either going to get you kicked off the show or when you are exposed, it's going to seem like a scandal because you weren't being truthful with us. So I think she's cool, but I just don't like how she's trying to control the narrative. She also says she's dating someone new, but they don't sleep with each other. He is, Christian and they pray together, they work out together, but they ain't sleeping together. I'll be honest, I don't even know if I believe that. It's like when someone's trying to control the narrative and I wouldn't even be saying I'm dating on TV and you still going through divorce. Like, can't the husband use that against her? Like, I hope that's not in a prenup that she don't get nothing from him if she get caught cheating because technically you're still married and he can use that against you. Am I right? Latoria, you have lawyer all the time too. So am I right? But if you're gonna bring it up, now you talking about you ain't sleeping with him. Okay, girl. Whatever you say. She said, Latoya said her divorce situation is interesting. I agree. What is she hiding? Yeah. I mean, the man's face is blurred out. He's not being shown on camera. He probably don't even want to. But yeah, depends on what state. Yeah. And what that prenup say. But right, I don't know the laws in Maryland, but gotta be careful, girl. But she say they ain't sleeping together. Oh, okay. And Ashley, well, her whole ass talking about something. What? You ain't sleeping together. Yeah, you've been married and now you ain't taking the opportunity to jump on anything and everything. No, just you. Just you trying to jump on anything and everything and still married and ain't got no divorce yet. Just you, Ashley. I'm about tired of her too, and I'm sick of this divorce. Like you playing around going to the lawyer's office. You ain't getting no divorce. You ain't getting no money. And I'm tired of that storyline for her too. I'm I'm over it. Her and her beers. I'm just done with it. Latoria said, "Could she be a prenup P?" I don't know. I don't know, but for Portia to pull that off in Atlanta, because Georgia used to be siding with the man. I ain't even gonna hold you. Y'all see how Sheree husband did her, so I don't know if she could pull that off. Or I'm not even gonna say she's the one with the money. I think he has his own stuff going for him, but. Actually, that last emoji is for her. Yeah. I'm over her. She's just jumping on anything and everything per usual. Nothing changed. Um, and also this new guy she's dating is TJ. He also worked at QVC. It had me wondering too, like, is that why you left QVC to come back home? Because, is it a no fraternization policy and you giving it up for this man you ain't got nothing from? I don't know. But I got my eye on that situation with TJ because TJ face wasn't blurred out. They showed him on there and she left to come back home and she don't seem like she doing the QVC thing no more. So I wonder if she had to, did she leave her job for love? Because that wasn't smart. You going through a divorce, sis. I don't know. You don't even know who the lawman is. It seems like all that stuff being handled by your soon to be husband. Next is gonna be like Ashley said, you're gonna be out there mowing the lawn yourself, just like she doing. Cause she made bad decisions in her prenup. We know who ain't a prenup P. It ain't Ashley. So don't take no advice from her. Stacy, for real. Latoria said, that's the wire side in her. Don't read this. Oh. Okay. I gotta read your whole thing to myself first before I read it out loud. Yes, God made you type that wrong on purpose. Amen. You was too much. But yeah, we then get into we see Karen have a conversation. We see her have a conversation with Kay, where I do feel like Karen was a little messy in that situation, Latoria, where she was like, "Oh, Giselle didn't invite you to the Hatitude party." When we do see Giselle say that she would go back and see because she only had a certain amount of people. It was a small room. Like, let's be honest, it was a small little area that she had the party in. But I do feel like there were people invited. I mean, Karen did request at their little breakfast. She requested that Vivian and Stacy be there. I didn't hear Karen request Kay was going to be there. Maybe she just automatically thought she was. But there were some people that could have been left out, like, Jackie, because I'm not feeling Jackie. She's jumping in everything, trying to get her 15 minutes of fame in every conversation, dancing on every set. But yeah, I felt like we could have had Kay there instead of Jackie. Jackie is Mia's friend, and she clearly had a lot to say about Karen's accident that wasn't positive or in a positive light. Karen didn't even like what she said, and like, side eyeing her. You could have had Kay there. You should have had. She should have been to me at the top of the invite list. To be honest, Jess. I don't know what to think about Jess because number one, I'm trying to figure out how is she gonna still be on this show because her husband, I mean, well, he was playing for Kansas City and she was living in Maryland, so maybe she's still traveling back and forth because he was traded to Dallas. So I don't know how that's gonna work out for her. I don't even want to invest in her like that. She said both of me and friends could have been bye bye. Yeah. I don't want to invest in just like that. She's cool on social media. The guy that she's dating has now proposed, and she's definitely in her fiance era, honey. She is supporting fully on the Dallas end of things. So I don't know how that's gonna work out for her being on the show. Is she still traveling back and forth in Maryland? Because I don't see it. Just seems like she's based in Dallas right now. Maybe because they're not filming. But I don't want to invest in her too much, to be honest. Oh Lord, I gotta hurry up. My laptop dying. But yeah, we then see Karen and Karen go over for cookies at Giselle house. They talk about their events. And at that time, Giselle, Karen is saying that her award event is a luncheon, that she'll be able to go to Giselle's event. Giselle and Ashley is in GNA, is going through a fusion. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. They're going from athleisure wear of a mix of Savage, Fenty, and Lululemon to health and wellness when neither of them seem that healthy. I don't know. I know, we've seen Ashley do her yoga in the past, but you on the scene every time we see you drinking a beer, and we ain't seen Giselle working out since she was doing water aerobics over there on the last trip that they went on. So I don't know. I guess you pushing it, but you're not projecting it. I don't know, whatever. But they're going through their fusion, and she's having her event. But this was a good event where she had partnered with like the Brain Tumor Society or something like that in honor of her father. So it was, an important event. And again, you guys, you can't convince me that Giselle is actually cool with Karen. She's shady every chance she get. And she was saying, why is Karen getting a reward for what, her 9 citations that she got during her DUI? Like, why is she even being presented with an award? She also said how Karen wasn't originally getting this award, that she had been invited months ago and Karen was not on the list to be presented an award, that Karen must have asked to. Maybe she did to kind of help clean up her image, or she was maybe a plan B on the list or something like that. But nonetheless, Giselle was very shady. But Karen hopped up the next morning, inviting everyone to her events and, graciously having some transportation for the ladies. And let me just go back to that conversation too. I did feel like Karen called out Giselle, like, you were being shady at this Hatitude event. You did not have to announce that you had a non-alcoholic beverage. Like, people can read the menu. And I told y'all that last week though. I felt like Giselle was being shady. And I get Karen saying that she loves that Giselle is shady. That's what she loves about her. Yet I don't know if she knows how shady she's being and how kind of backstabby Merstaberton in her in her confessionals about Karen. Latoya on Facebook said, "Okay, did you hear Karen on Watch What Happens Live? That's exactly what Karen said. Ashley always drinking down them Coronas. Exactly. Like, every chance she get, we see her with that in her hand. So, health and wellness, it's just giving GNA is not doing what GNA is supposed to do, honey. And now we're trying to, save it somehow. But because none of that stuff that we saw at the GNA fashion show last season, none of that stuff is on the website. They selling some tights, some socks, um, maybe a t-shirt or two here, a yoga top or something, but none of those outfits we saw are on that website, nor have they ever been. So how do we jump into a fusion when we ain't even complete what we started on the clothes and athleisure wear side? Beyond me. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, Karen hopped up the next morning inviting the girls to go, sent her a nice nasty text about how they can go to her event. She has graciously made sure they have transportation to kind of make sure the girls go to her event. It was an awkward situation to put the girls in. Honestly, I would have went wherever I RSVP first, but they were trying to support both. And some girls, like, Kay, she's not going to another GNA event. You saw what happened at the last one. So she ain't got time for GNA. And, Wendy, she said she wanted to support Karen and see her get the award. The rest of the women tried to go to both events. They tried to, go to both. Vivian decided to, even though she's Karen's friend, which I admired, she went to GNA's event because she said that's what she RSVP'd first, so she was there. The rest of the ladies called Ashley, and Ashley told them as long as they there by 8, they good. They go to Karen's event, they show their face, they say hello, they hop on the bus, and they get over there at 8 o'clock to the event. By the time they get in the door, honey, it's 8:03 or something like that, and Giselle is turning them around. And that's where we kind of left off in the episode in there. And I was just, again, disappointed in this episode that our staple of the show and the drama is dueling events and kicking people out of the events. And really, Giselle did that because she was hurt. She wanted the women there. This was an event about her father and in support of, what her father passed for. So instead of just having a grown ass woman conversation and saying that, she's deciding to kick them out for getting there at like 8:03. It's childish to me. And if you felt like, y'all RSVP'd, y'all should have been here. It hurt my feelings that you wasn't. This was important to me. Just communicate that and talk about it like grown women, because they really were trying to attend both events. They really were trying to just support both friends and was in an awkward situation. Latoya said it was a bad situation, but Karen isn't at fault of what day and time the people planned the event. All ladies did the right thing. Yeah, I probably would have went to wherever I RSVP first. If GNA came up first and I RSVP to that, I would have stuck with that and went there, just because of my anxiety, child. I don't like to be rushing around. Like me, I start getting ready for stuff hours in advance, especially with these kids, because my anxiety, I cannot be rushing around. That shit throws me off. But I commend them for trying to go to both events. and trying to support both. So kicking them out was whack to me and it was childish. Again, she's just hurt. And instead of, because Giselle, the ice queen, ain't gonna show no emotion, honey. Instead of just saying, hey, this was for my father. I really wanted you guys there. It hurt my feelings that you didn't come here or you came so late with only an hour left to the event. Just, again, have a conversation about it. But instead, she's choosing to kick them out. So that's where we're going to leave off the episode and where we'll start off with next episode. I have a sneak peek already that I can show you guys. I'll put that up later in the week because if I put it up now, y'all going to forget it by Sunday. So I usually wait closer to the episode. But listen, like I said, I am not impressed with this season so far. They have work cut out for them. And I said it, I don't know if I'm just jaded or what because Salt Lake City is so good to me. But these other shows, y'all need to step up y'all game. Roni is so whack to me. Like, I dread watching it, let alone recapping it. I do it because that's what I do here. But Roni is so whack to me. I was so disappointed with Real Housewives of Potomac. Salt Lake City is that girl. So again, I don't know if I'm just jaded by them or think they're so great that nobody else is measuring up or what, but I am not feeling these shows. So we'll see what they bring in the next episode. And I'm sure this is going to be a big deal about her kicking them out. And that will drag on for the next 2 or 3 episodes. But I hope they got something else to bring, y'all. But that is my thoughts on episode 2, season 9 of Real Housewives of Potomac. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm definitely going to try to do it midday, 12:30ish, depending on what the schedule is looking like tomorrow. Midday tea talk on tonight's episode of Love and Hip Hop ATL that I now have to go watch. But as I always say before I get out of here, if you have a business or a product that you want me to promote, my promotional rates are there for me to post and on my social media platforms. I'm looking for sponsors for the podcast as well. So if you want to be a sponsor and I will promote your business and product on all of my shows. I'm doing an upward of 7 to 8 podcast shows a week right now. If you're interested in either, you can email me at what you see above reality_recap at yahoo.com. Again, my Cash App is in the corner, $reality recap, because the tea is not free, baby. But how do you support for free? Easy. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, honey. The links are in my bio to my YouTube page. So if you don't see my live tea talks, no worry. Go to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe there, and you can see all my tea talks, all my recaps, as well as my Thursday night reality news weekly recaps for you. All right. And as I always say, before I get out of here, reality TV stars are humans too. Don't forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. And I will see you sometime tomorrow, midday, to recap tonight's episode of Love and Hip Hop ATL. I made it, y'all. I recapped everything that I didn't get to recap for you over this weekend. I have finished my quota. Good night. See y'all tomorrow.